Hello folks and welcome to Monday's edition of Magoo Sports News. I am, as always, Magoo, and we're going to have a look back at the weekend. Not a huge amount of sport on, but let's have a look and see what happened anyway. I know it's Monday, so I'll try and cheer you up with my sports reporting. So folks, first and foremost into the golf, and it was the third major of the year, the Open Championship. And it was a fantastic tournament. First couple of days, obviously, we had not bad weather, a couple of good scores going in. Darren Clarke went into the weekend leading by a shot. He actually managed to pull off one of the greatest victories he will ever do. He held off everybody to win the Open Championship. I mean, there were a few challengers coming in. Dustin Johnson did okay. Phil Mickelson even had a joint leader at one point, but Darren Clarke held it together. Everyone else fell away. So great victory for him. That's him now on the major honours list, and he's now invited to play the Open Championship till he's 60 years old. So he'll be very chuffed at that. No more golf now until the USPGA in August, realistically, so we'll look out for that one. A couple of things I also wanted to mention. Lee Westwood and Luke Donald, the world's number 1 and 2 in golf, didn't even make the cut for this event, so it just goes to show. I think the reason being is links golf is so rare now. Links golf is where basically the course is on the side of a coast and you get wind coming in and all that. I don't know where the wind comes from, but that's irrelevant. But the thing is, there's only one tournament a year that's links golf, and that's the Open Championship. So it begs the question, should the R&A change it to be sort of more better for all the other players? Or should they keep it because it is traditional? It was the original test of a golfer's ability. Nowadays you see smooth fairways and there isn't really a test. If you're hitting it straight, you're going to post a low score. So, big question there. Second and foremost, the Copa America in the football. Now, this was a bizarre weekend of football. All four, I mean, in the quarterfinals, there was 4 teams who you would say were dead cert favourites for each quarterfinal. All 4 of them lost. Unbelievable. Argentina drew 1-0 with Uruguay. They were all over them. But then Uruguay went down to 10 men. But then Argentina got down to 10 men because Luis Suarez took a dive and tricked the referee into sending Mascherano off. And anyway, went to penalties. Tevez missed the important penalty and Uruguay went through. Colombia, Peru. Peru won 2-0. Basically, they just sat back and hit Colombia on the counter-attack. Went to extra time this one as well. And then Brazil, Paraguay, 0-0. Didn't look like anyone was going to score. I mean, Brazil had a couple of chances. The keeper for Paraguay was great on the night. But then when it went to the penalties, the most bizarre occurrence happened. The pitch was awful. It looked sandy underneath. And every time someone went to take a penalty, they slipped and kicked the ball here, there and everywhere. Only 2 penalties were scored. And that was obviously by the Paraguayans. So they went through. Chile versus Venezuela. Venezuela were rank outsiders for this event, lucky to get to the quarterfinals, but then they pull off an amazing victory against Chile, 2-1. So unbelievable. The semi-finals, should I say, is Uruguay, Peru, and then Paraguay, Venezuela. Could be anyone's that. Now, a bit of transfer news to tell you. Carlos Tevez has finally got his dream and he's away out of Manchester. Corinthians' bid of £39 million has been accepted by Man City, so it looks like he's out of there. Arsenal are also tabling a £14 million bid for Romelu Lukaku. This young lad plays for Anderlecht. I've been following him for a couple of years. Great striker. He was top scorer, not last season, but the season before, as a 16-year-old. Unbelievable. Bit of a patchy season last year, but still, great acquisition. Chelsea were the front runners for this guy, but looks like Arsenal are going to get in there with a big statement of intent to say, we are going to win the league next year. So, moving on to the Rugby League, and a great weekend of Super League action. First and foremost, I'll talk about Castleford versus Crusaders, and it was a fantastic game. Castleford managed to pull off a win in the last few minutes to win 26-20. Now this basically moves them up to 6th place, and they're only 4 points behind 4th place, more importantly. And with an easy run in, last 5 games that is, they might make the top 4. Bradford beat Huddersfield in a hugely shocking result. 36-0. Huddersfield are fourth, still fourth in the table. No, they were third, I think. But this is a shocking result for Huddersfield. If their form doesn't pick up, they'll be moving down the table. Leeds beat Hull 20-0. This was a good result for Leeds. They needed to win. They were lingering out almost outside the playoff places. Wigan, Warrington and St Helens all won, so that's the top three basically maintaining their positions. Only 5 games to go till the playoffs. The Super League is getting exciting. Who's going to make that top 4? Who's going to make the playoffs? We'll wait and see. Finally, in the snooker, China beat Northern Ireland to win the Snooker World Cup, which was the first time they've had a Snooker World Cup for a long time. So folks, what have we got coming up this week? Not a great deal. There's a few friendlies here and there, but they're sometimes not worth watching. There is the Europa League qualifying round 2. Couple of British teams in action. Dundee United are at home to Slask Wrocław. Now, the first leg, they lost 1-0 away in Poland, so they really have to win this game. They want to have a good European campaign this year, Dundee United. And Fulham play the Crusaders. Fulham won the first leg away 3-1, so you can't see any other result than Fulham going through there. The cricket, the first test of the Indian tour. India play England. It's at Lord's. It's going to be a cracker. India, the #1 ranked test team in the world. So it's going to be a good test for England. See what happens. Hopefully there won't be as much rain as there was for the Sri Lanka tour, but should be a good tournament. In the snooker, the Goldfields Australian Open, the first time a ranking event has been in Australia. That's on in the mornings though, 10:30 in the morning. It's on British Eurosport, so if you had nothing better to do, watch out for that. Copa America semi-finals, trouble is they're at 1:45 in the morning. Not really worth watching. If Argentina and Brazil there, maybe, but I wouldn't bother if I were you. So folks, that's all we've got time for today. I'm going to cut it short. I'm also going to do a little preview into Inverness County Thistle season coming up because the SPL starts. That's above in a different video, so watch out for that if you fancy. If not, that's Magoo Sports News for Monday. See you guys on Friday. I hope you enjoy your week.